Privacy by design is a commonly referenced approach to privacy that tries to incorporate privacy in the early stages of system and application development, rather than trying to bolt on privacy controls after a system is already in place. If you've been around the cybersecurity field for a while, you might recognize this idea. It's the same approach used to integrate cybersecurity controls into system designs at an early point. The whole idea is that by including privacy and security controls early in the process, you wind up with more effective controls, more efficient design and implementation projects, and reduced rework. Now we're starting to see privacy by design questions make their way onto certification exams. The most recent version of the CISP exam objectives now include privacy by design as a specifically tested item, and we're likely to see this topic appear on other exams down the road. Privacy by design is becoming a commonly accepted framework, and you should definitely be familiar with it. And the key thing that you need to know for the exam is that privacy by design has 7 foundational principles. You should know all 7 and be able to explain which ones apply in a given scenario. Let's walk through those principles after we cover all 7. I'll share a practice exam question on privacy by design with you, and we'll see how you do. The first of these principles is proactive, not reactive, preventive, not remedial. This principle says that systems should be designed to prevent privacy risks from occurring in the first place, not just to respond to privacy lapses that occur. Privacy. The second principle is privacy. As the default setting, systems should protect the privacy of individuals, even if those individuals don't act in any way. The default approach of any system should be to protect privacy, unless the user specifically chooses to take actions that reduce the level of privacy. The third principle is privacy embedded into design. Privacy should be a primary design consideration, not a bolted-on afterthought. Privacy is a core requirement of the system. Now, fourth, we have full functionality, positive sum, not zero sum. Privacy should not be treated as requiring trade-offs with the business security or other objectives. Privacy by design seeks win-win situations where privacy objectives may be achieved alongside other objectives. The fifth principle is end-to-end security. End-to-end security, full life cycle. Protection security practices should persist throughout the entire information life cycle. Information should be securely collected, retained, and disposed of to preserve individual privacy. Sixth, we visibility, transparency. Have visibility and transparency. Keep it open. The component parts of systems preserving privacy by design should be open for inspection by users and providers alike. And finally, the seventh principle is user privacy. Respect for user privacy. Keep it user-centric. Privacy is about protecting personal information, and personal information belongs to individual people. Therefore, privacy by design practices maintain a focus on the individual, empowering data subjects with user-friendly privacy practices. Alright, do you think you have a good handle on privacy by design? The best way to be sure is to test your knowledge. Let's take a look at a sample exam question that covers these concepts. Here's the question. Jake is consulting on the design of a new system that will analyze the financial habits of customers of his bank, and he'd like to follow the principles of privacy by design. The bank already has consent from users to collect information, but it's now going to be using that information in a different way. The attorney on the team says that no additional notice or consent is required. How should Jake advise the team to move forward? Should he advise the team to move forward as is because they already have consent? Or should he advise them to obtain another legal opinion to confirm the attorney on the team's opinion? Or should he advise them to add a description of the new analysis to their existing privacy policy? Or should he advise them to obtain opt-in consent from users? Let me give you a moment to think about that, and then I'll explain the correct answer. Well, this is a tough question because it requires a lot of subjective judgment. Let's walk through the possibilities. Jake probably could legally move forward if he wanted to do so. He has advice from an attorney saying that the practice is acceptable, but that's a legal opinion, not a privacy opinion. It would violate at least 2 principles of privacy by design: respect for user privacy and visibility and transparency. So we can eliminate the option of just moving forward. Now, obtaining another legal opinion would just confirm or deny the existing opinion, so that's not going to help us either. In this case, adding a statement to the privacy notice would probably also be a legal way to move forward, but it violates a different principle of privacy by design, privacy as the default setting. If users do nothing, they would be subjected to this new analysis. So we're left with obtaining opt-in consent from users as the best choice here. Now remember, we're not necessarily talking about the best choice from a business perspective, and this also isn't a security analysis, but if we want to follow the principles of privacy by design, this is the best way to go. If you face an exam question on this topic, you really need to read it carefully and make sure that you're making the best decision, given the description in the scenario, if you're asked to follow the principles of privacy by design. Your answer might be different than if you're asked whether something is legal or secure.